Well, Keir Starmer has enacted a sweeping reshuffle of his cabinet, prompted by the resignation of Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner in what is considered to be one of the most significant Labour government shakeup in the years, and that is very profound. Let's talk about this. Welcome, and thank you for joining my discussion, my Silver and Show, and looking at some of the developments happening in the world. Remember to like and subscribe and to share. Well, Keir Starmer has enacted a sweeping reshuffle of his cabinet, prompted by the resignation of Angela Rayner. My apologies, Angela Rayner, in what is considered as one of the most significant Labour government shakeup in years. And it is very interesting how this happened because I did a show just last week, and I think it was last week, Thursday, and we sort of said, normally what happens whenever the Prime Minister is saying, I have full support with my minister, I have full support. Always question is, when will she go? Will she go by Sunday? But what we understand is that she went the next day by Friday, you know? And this is about the 800,000 property which she bought and 40,000 of stamp duty, which she somewhat evaded, but she accepted full recognition of what happened. So anyhow, this has prompted now the Prime Minister to now change the guards, change the cabinet, and it's very interesting as to what Keir Starmer is doing. Some are saying what he is doing is just really regurgitating his front team. He's got 400 or so MPs that he can actually go for. He's keeping that same front team and regurgitating them. Firstly, David Lammy, has been promoted to Deputy Prime Minister and Justice Secretary, moving from his previous post as Foreign Secretary. Some are saying, is that a demotion or is that a promotion? You think about that for a second, because the Foreign Secretary position is one with very significant trappings and being out there on the front line. Many people are saying that he has not been very effective. And what is happening with Ukraine and what is happening with the Middle East, they say he's not been very effective. So somewhat they say it's an elevation to a certain extent. Well, as Deputy Prime Minister, come on, that must be high. But they're saying, hang on a second, it could be a demotion. But of course, given the Foreign Secretary, no, he was a Foreign Secretary, and also give him the Justice Secretary as well. Now, Shabina Mahood, formerly Justice Secretary, has become Home Secretary, marking a major elevation for her. Without a doubt, one can say that is a promotion. And not knowing much about Shabina Mahmood, but one of the first things is, as someone said, is that, well, at least she's not one who is seeking for death as well because of her voting pattern. Yvette Cooper has been shifted from Home Secretary to Foreign Secretary, taking over Lammy's old brief. Home Secretary, Foreign Secretary. Now, is that a promotion or a side motion? I don't know. It could be. Because recently Yvette has been championing many causes and many changes in regards to the Home Secretary, and she has been somewhat, they deem as to be very effective. But Shabina Mahmood, maybe she's coming in to take it to the next level. Rachel Reeves remain in place as Chancellor, ensuring continuity in the management of the UK. Now, what I say about that is a very interesting one because Angela Rayner and Rachel Reeves, there are two ladies what I see like they prop up the Prime Minister. Rachel Reeves on one side and Angela Rayner. And you could see that the Prime Minister somewhat policies and his old mantra is linked into these persons. And hence the reason why with Angela Rayner going and gone, that has weakened the Prime Minister to a certain extent. Now, with Rachel Reeves, if she goes, that will totally weaken. It's like, I call them buffers. It's like the Prime Minister buffers. But of course, by bringing in the David Lammy, who's a good close friend, then maybe that is bringing up the whole balancing the equilibrium. Now, will Rachel Reeves go? We watch his space. And I was thinking about the day when Kemi Badenoch was really having a go at Angela Rayner. And I felt somewhat that Kemi sort of pull back a bit, sort of mindful of the sensitivity and the emotional aspect of these ladies.
I remember when the Prime Minister said that tax evasion is a criminal offence and should be treated as all other fraud. If he had a backbone, he would sack her. But let's get back to the issue of borrowing. He did not answer why it is so.
We recall when Rachel Reeves was crying, and it's like recently also Angela Rayner, she did an interview and she was very teary in regards to her family. So it's like you don't want to rub it in, and sometimes it's not good to kick a man or kick a woman when they're down. So that's a very interesting one. Pat McFadden has been put in charge of a new super ministry combining responsibilities for work and pension and skills, illustrating Starmer's drive for reform and efficiency. Steve Reed has taken over the housing brief, moving from Environment Secretary, with Daniel Zecker leaving his role as Farming Minister. So what we're seeing is that the Environment and the Home Office have both seen multiple junior and senior posts realigned with new faces that brought in to signal a phase two focus on delivery. But for the first time, what is also very interesting is that women now hold three great offices of state: the Chancellor, Home Secretary, and Foreign Secretary, after Mahmoud and Cooper's appointment. Very interesting perspective. Several new and younger MPs have been promoted to junior ministerial posts, underlining Starmer's stated intent for generational and geographical renewal. The reshuffle also include notable external appointment, businessman Jason Stockwood, who was joined as an investment minister in the Lords, and several key Labour Party's positions have seen turnover as part of the shakeup. And this reshuffle, what we say, come at a moment when Starmer needs to reassert control over his government, sending a clear message of renewal and direction. Is he damaged or is he weakened? I think many people are saying so, because this is just the start of a summer of discontent, but the summer is gone or it's going to go into winter. But one notably changes which took place, which was very interesting, my local MP, Janet Davey, former social worker Janet Davey, replaced by ex-frontline chief Josh McAllister as children's minister. McAllister to take responsibility for reforms he conceived when leading the independent review of children's social care. David declares pride in taking on leadership role for their profession she loves. Now, some social workers have been commenting that Starmer did wrong. He has taken away the eyes of the social worker and children and families. Now, they're speaking it from a perspective, because Janet Davey is a former social worker. Now, that is left to be seen. And we watch the space as how this unfolds, because it is unfolding each day. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you so much for joining. And all I can say is remember to like and subscribe and to share as much as possible. And let me hear your views in regards to this. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.